I rise from the ashes of my mattress.
Yes, I did rise from my mattress just so I could play Disco Elysium. And why would we not want to play such a beautiful game where we can delve into alcoholism without actually becoming an alcoholic? Unless we are one already, which in better respects makes this game a lot more fun. Welcome to Disco Elysium. Last time we threw up a few times, looked at a body, got called a dumbass, drunk ourselves into losing all of our memories, and made a new best friend. So, let us hop into this. Oh yeah, we also played with these guys' balls. Sorry, Mew. No, I had to do it to him. Enormous boars worthy of a real man. We caused by an earthquake. Maybe the sea monster did this to the plaza. Yeah. Sea monsters, totally not us. Oh, I need to get that. There's a bag right there. We could just snag this from him. He doesn't need the bag. Yeah, we got our plastic bag. We can collect bottles. That man seems sad. We'll leave him alone. I wonder if we can use one of these.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible.
Vandalism. How cruel.
Probably some kids.
Poor little viewer.
The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic.
Let's look inside.
A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onug, written on the other side.
Kuno.
With N and C scribbled backwards. That's Kuno on the lens. Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts. Lanky, weather-worn wooden planks. An X-shaped cross topping its tower. You know this to be the Star of Pericarnassus, or the Cairo. The central symbol of the Pericarnassian Church, a star, a great moral height to be strived towards.
Yeah, Kuno is a creature that
The
exists.
church looks old and weather-worn. There are no lights in the windows.
Oh, comics. Did we get... Oh, yeah, we got new items. Let's equip our plastic bag. Because now we can collect cups. Hey. Or cans. And sell them so we can hopefully make money. Because we only have 51 cents, we need $100 if we're going to have somewhere to sleep in the next few hours. Cans? Cans and bottles. Yeah, we're probably going to have to sell the tires. Ooh, we can check that trash can too. More bottles.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
Main hall, building A.
An off-key melody starts playing after you ring the doorbell. Then a woman picks up the receiver.
Kuno, please stop calling here. Grown-ups don't have time for your stupid games.
She thinks you're the gremlin child. What would he say to this?
You know what? She immediately assumes we are Kuno, so we shall be the Kuno. Fuck off, pig. I'm Kuno. I don't give a shit. Let me in.
Pardon? This is not Kuno.
Oh shit, she knows.
Who is this? Please just stop calling here. I don't have time to deal with this. Thank you.
A single beep indicates that the line has gone dead.
Hi, Mulch.
You ring the doorbell, but no one answers. What an ominous name for a hair salon. Doesn't bode well for anyone's hair.
How about boxing for young athletes in gym?
All you hear is static, but no one answers the call.
24th window?
You ring the doorbell, but nothing happens.
Emma's Fashion Atelier?
You wait for a minute or two, but all you get from the call box is silence. No one answers the call.
How about Emma's... Oh, wait. How about Fabron's Taxi?
Looks like someone has melted half the plastic off with a lighter. The doorbell doesn't work anymore.
Slipstream Messier?
You hear static from the intercom speaker. It sounds as if someone has picked up the receiver, but isn't saying anything.
Hello?
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric.
Oh, hello.
Have you come to place an order?
No, I'm just here to say hi.
She sounds almost antique.
You pause the stream,
as
you
if her
nice.
voice was being played off an old wax cylinder. A receiver must not be working properly.
Wait, this is Tricentennial Electronics? I thought I was calling Slipstream SCA.
My God.
The lieutenant exchanges a look with you.
It's you. My God. I didn't think I would hear your voice.
Wait, what?
Who cares that you don't remember her? Just go along with it. No, something's wrong here. Are you sure she's talking to you?
I mean, yeah, it's me. I'm here, crawling back into your life again, like a roach.
Michelle. Just
Oh, I'm not Michelle, I'm Baron.
Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't care.
Of course I care. It's just that I've been going through some stuff lately.
Ever since I came to work here, it's different. As if my mind's been wiped clean.
A spot of static overrides her words. When she speaks again, it sounds like she's submerged.
It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally again.
Forget about what?
She sounds like she's about to cry.
Yeah, I'm not emotionally equipped for this, Sia.
You press the number sign on the keypad that terminates the call. 12 name cards on the call box read. Whatever she says, it can't hurt you.
You know what? We'll try again, though. She can't hurt us emotionally.
Stronger, healthier, and alright, maybe not healthier, but it's a bonus that you've drunk so hard you can't remember any of your past relationships.
Yeah, that's a plus for us.
Oblivion's the ace in your corner. There's a light buzz as you press the doorbell, waiting for her to answer the call. It's cold outside, and you can hear the wind blowing into the speaker.
Yes, hello. This is Tricentennial Electric. Have you come to place an order?
No, I just want to get inside the building.
My God.
Here come the bad vibes again. Relax. Distance yourself from it.
Listen, I just want to explain myself.
It's you.
Wait, is she...
Didn't you already say that the last time we talked?
Michelle, just please. Why did you even call? I don't understand. You've been gone for months. I thought you didn't care.
Is this some kind of joke?
You know, it doesn't matter what I say. You're just going to continue, aren't you?
The voice from the intercom doesn't answer, but you can hear her breathing. Wind blows into your microphone again, crackling and echoing in the box.
Okay, you done? Can we talk?
Ever since I came to
God
find
damn it.
you, as if my mind's been wiped clean. It's so nice. It's so nice to be able to finally forget about you.
And then it hits you.
Ha! I'm dumb. This is a recording.
She tries again not to cry, and still doesn't succeed completely. Her quiet sobs sound old and distant, as if her voice is being played off a wax cylinder. Real or not, your mirror neurons react. It feels painful to be listening to this.
You know what? Why does this feel like it's my fault?
Her sound melts into the static from a long-distance phone call. From time to time, you can hear people talking in the distance, but can't make out any words. This is where you hung up the call the last time, but the recording is still going.
Fine, we'll keep listening.
A phone rings in the office with an old-fashioned chime, and someone walks by in a pair of heels. The static is like a warm blanket wrapped around the sounds.
Anybody home?
No one replies, but the static grows stronger like rainfall. Then a female voice speaks out, completely different from the one before. Glorious and total somehow. Crawling inside your head. Her words are too cold to comprehend. She smells of sodium lights and rain streaks on car windows. Eyes like pilot lights watch your shape in dark hallways, guttering.
So, it was a recording trapped in the circuitry from some ancient tenant. This sometimes happens. Shall we conclude here? We have other mysteries to solve.
Wait. But something weird's happening to me.
Don't take this the wrong way, but during our short stint working together, something weird is almost always happening to you.
You know, that is a fair point.
That is true.
All right, let's check out Fortress Accident SCA.
Silence.
Okay.
No one's home.
How about the Ice City?
Silence.
Okay.
No one answers the
How about the
doorbell.
Whirling in Rags?
Nothing happens after you ring the doorbell.
That's
They
a fair
don't
point.
talk to you.
East Delta Pinball?
Silence.
Aw.
No one answers your call.
See Mulch? Empty card.
This button looks new, but someone has removed the name card. Nothing happens when you try to ring it.
Huh. This button looks new. It's probably not connected yet.
Well, we tried everything there. Let's actually go inside, I guess. Child, converse with me.
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open.
I am the law.
I know, sir. Are you interested in a new and exciting book?
What kind of store is this?
It's a bookstore, sir. We sell books, postcards, and some board games. It's called Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold your horses, little girl.
Wait. What is a board game?
Board games are like little games on a table, made to pass the time. There are several different ones, but sailors here mostly buy cards.
And what's a postcard?
A postcard is a small cardboard picture. You can write a few words on the other side and send it to your friend or beloved.
She is unfazed by your questions. She would consider it impolite to point out any perceived weirdness.
Okay, but the most important question, what is this book you speak of?
That is a book. They have stories inside them. It's like someone told you a story in a really long letter.
Interesting.
My pleasure. Anything else you'd like to know?
Can I ask you some questions?
Okay, sir. I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about books.
What is romance?
It's the type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between the good man and the bad man. Or there could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It's about man and lady business, sir.
What about when everyone is poor?
That's really not a proper romance story. That's more like everyday life.
But sometimes you have to write about real life.
Not in romance books, sir. These
Aw.
are about nice and pretty people, and everyone is happy in the end.
What about when both of the men are bad?
These are not very common. You can't have a choice between bad and bad. Nobody wants to read a story like that.
But what if it's written really well?
Well, maybe then it's fine. Maybe if the lady then decides not to pick either, because she doesn't need a bad man. Yes, that would be interesting.
But what about a poor man getting a rich lady?
It happens, but usually the guy gets rich in the process. Or should actually be rich himself, but has lost his family property unjustly, like during the revolution or something.
Ah,
Those are unhappy books, for most of the pages. People sad about what they have lost, but then it all turns out just fine in the end.
what about a book where the man and the lady business doesn't work out at all?
I haven't read many of those. Maybe you should ask Mum.
Yeah, you think she has one about an excruciatingly painful breakup?
I don't think it's a romance story if the main characters break up, though.
But think about it. One where they plunge into a torrent of spiral of pain and wreck or blah 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 blah. But it's like really long and drawn out, like Scarred for Life, Phantom Limb.
No, I don't know.
Okay, I'll just ask your mom.
Yes, she knows books, definitely.
What was that? An idea for an unfinished novel stuck somewhere in your forebrain? You clearly have issues you need to address.
Oh, that's enough for me.
Maybe some about other books?
What is this crime business?
Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals.
Ah, I get it. Crime murder gets the people going.
And it's kind of like a puzzle too. You can guess who the criminal is or how the good guys are going to catch him.
You know, I'm a policeman myself, by the way. The law, as I said.
You don't look much like a policeman.
You don't look like a fucking child, dumbass. But what does a cop look like?
Didn't mean to offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen.
You know, it's not your body that's important for police work anyway. It's your noggin.
Head, yes.
Not head, child. Heads.
Flexibility. There are millions of different people out there and you have to get into their heads. Sometimes you gotta be the killer to catch the killer.
Isn't that very dangerous?
You know, policemen live and breathe danger, little girl. Mullen obviously lacks the chameleonic skill.
Unlike you, sir. He's just a fictional character. He's no match for you.
Okay, touche, Gigi Lamau.
Maybe you can show me some real police work, sir. Like in the books.
You know what? I'm gonna deduce something now.
You failed to deduce anything substantial.
JK.
She waits intently.
Actually, I'm sorry, I can't deduce anything.
It's okay, sir.
You disappointed a small
Oh.
child. Well done, champ.
Okay, but who are these famous people?
Oh, kings and queens and generals of old, or artists and writers, or musicians, those kinds of people. There's usually something extraordinary about them.
You know, Mew, that sounds very fun.
I think that's why people read them, to find the secrets of their fame.
Seems like most people who read those books fail to get more famous from reading them.
Reading those doesn't make the readers more famous, does it?
But it does make the famous people more famous.
Fame is for vain people. I have better things. No, those famous people sound like a bunch of dorks.
Annette's expression remains ever so helpful, but she doesn't say anything.
You heard me. Only losers waste their time with that garbage.
Isn't that kind of a childish thing for a grown-up to say?
When she grows up, and if she grows up to be clever, she'll discover there's no such thing as a grown-up.
Maybe.
She gives you a quizzical look, not understanding the reasoning behind your odd outbursts.
Oh yeah, what's your name?
My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside minding the register or organising the stock. Feel free to step in and browse our wares.
And you're standing out here in the cold because...
I'm signalling that the store is open. Otherwise, people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Mew.
A sudden gush of wind turns the pages of the books on the counters. She covers her face, smiling, but she's cold.
You know, we could help by brutally dismantling the free market.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad to help Mum out with the store.
You can stop calling me sir. I am but a working man.
No, sir, I can't. It would be too tiring to refrain from it. It's already tiring enough to remember to say it all the time. It's nice of you to say I could stop, though.
You know, I get you. I, for example, can't stop making this face.
That's a friendly enough face, most of the time.
Wait, shouldn't you be at school?
I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running.
You know, school's stupid. You're lucky not to be there.
Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed.
But how's the business gonna succeed?
Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed.
Behind her, the window has been boarded up. You sense the boards creaking, twisting for a second, and some kind of doubt in her tense shoulders.
You know, it's good to hear that things are going well. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. You know what? We're gonna try this again.
You fell. She waits intently.
Our new deduction is that you are very small.
Don't be silly.
Hey,
Who, me?
yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
Wait, I've done it before?
Yes, you're ready to start building communism again. You've built it before. They've built it before. Hasn't really worked out yet. But neither has love. Should we just stop building love, too?
No, I can't argue with that.
So, what about all that communism you've promised to build? Word on the street is you've woken up from 1,000 years of slumber, promising to erect a version of communism many times greater than any attempted before. Is that true?
How come there's word on the street?
Keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket, literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff.
Okay, you know what? You're right. That totally sounds like me.
Funky style.
Yeah.
Very funky. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it?
You know what? Let's roll up our sleeves and start building communism.
Oh yeah. Get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready.
We're gonna roll up our sleeves further and breathe in the pristine air. Yeah, we're communists now. The workers' revolution begins now. Ooh, book. Books.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise.
Storekeep, what board games do you have here?
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Archipelagos of Insulinder, a very educational game for those interested in geography.
I'm interested in you, though.
Browbritter
JK.
is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children.
I don't want children.
Who are you going to play board games with?
But
Do you have friends or family?
Do I have friends?
Are you actually friends? Or just colleagues thrown together by circumstance?
Look at me. Who'd want to have children with me?
Don't be so hard on yourself, sir. You just need to clean up a bit. And technically, friends are a bit like family. For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations. It'll cost 12 real.
I only have 51 real, or 51 cents in real. So, what are all these real things?
Lousy auras there. No, role-playing games are popular among those types. You know, who are into those kind of things. Personally, I don't like it. Not at all. I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts. That they have rituals where they try to summon entities. Highly immoral stuff. You can still buy them though.
An endless variety of source books, lore books, and codices litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Katawak, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a Pick Your Path adventure game book titled Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Velkrag. Books in a board game section? Who wants to read books?
Anything that really catches my eye?
There's a box
Or
that says Wirral, 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements Module. The side panel notes, a fantastique adventure board game, new maps and miniatures. A sticker on it displays 25 real.
yeah, we're poor.
That price is steep, but then it's the 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplement, so it makes sense.
Yeah, no, thanks for the opportunity. I'm gonna go collect cans and probably rob you. She's but a working capitalist and slaving the working child. We must overthrow her.
These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen over and over. Crime fiction is a disgrace. An asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes of the arduous everyday work of actual police officers. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives. Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of all the books found on the shelf?
You know what? Fine. Give me a fucking list.
You see Dick Mullen on the job. Get Me Mullen. The Stalwart Adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the Murder in the Orchard. The Sordid Affair of Dick Mullen. A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the murder house. The final case of Dick Mullen. An obvious lie. Dick Mullen in the clock tower. The ordeals of Dick Mullen. Dauntless Dick. Dick Mullen's funeral pyre.
Dauntless Dick.
The murder of Dick Mullen.
Wait, hold up. He dies?
Oh no. Turns out he faked it to solve a case.
I think we're good
Shelves
now.
filled to the brim with crime novels featuring the...
Oh, crime, robberies, murders, even sexual crimes. We're fortunate to have Dick Mullen and his stories to sort all that
Yeah,
out.
without him, our society would collapse.
You're a police officer, apparently. You should buy all of these. They really do teach a person how to be a proper detective.
Oh yeah, well fuck you, lady. Teach you to be a proper detective. I am a detective. I am the law.
The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of Famous People. You see a large variety of names, none of which ring a bell.
I would say... The Greatest Innocence. Yes, most certainly. It's an important educational tool, delving into the depths of history, religion, and their relation to innocentic power.
But who or what is an innocence?
A very influential historical figure. But surely I don't have to tell you that. You're a law officer, and law officers have at least some education. The book is also very daring. The author aims to re-examine the universal understandings of the innocentic system, creating a fresh vantage point and a shift in the tired order of things.
Great. I don't give a shit.
Shelves full of biographies of famous people, whoever they are.
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Book on the ground.
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature.
Storekeeper, what books are these?
Sir, please, no browsing in that shelf. That wisdom is not for
What?
free.
So I can't look at the books?
I can't have you end up, like, opening a police store next door and stealing my customers.
Oh,
no.
yeah, a police store. What am I gonna sell? Like, brutality?
Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside.
Oh, fuck this lady. I'm gonna steal this map.
Held up by small pins. The board has come loose from one corner. The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez.
Storekeep, can I buy these maps?
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, you could scarcely afford them.
Yeah, fair point. Well, she won't call the police, she'll call the union, and the union will kill us.
They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though.
You know what, you seem to underestimate my resources, but you know what? Sure, okay.
Yes, yes. Are you interested or not?
We're gonna try fucking stealing it from her.
Slowly, you move your hand toward them.
Perhaps not. It's against RCM policy to defraud small business owners.
Oh, my bad, Kim. Fine, we'll finally talk to this lady.
Welcome to crime, romance.
Yeah, we've spoken already.
And please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this
What
space.
energy?
A golden pendant hangs around the woman's neck, in the shape of what looks like a tiny fish head trapped in amber.
Wait a minute, before we go on, you seem to be well off enough. Can you give Sweetie money? I feel like there won't be an opportune moment to ask later.
Sir, don't be ridiculous. I certainly will not give you money. I would be doing you a grave psychic disfavor. One has to earn one's success,
Aw.
even if one is a police officer. Handouts are nothing but manipulation. All they do is make you dependent.
Certainly, there are good things to be said about dependence.
You know, it would forge ties between us working people. Good practice for fighting our common enemy.
Now, hey there. Sounds like someone isn't taking responsibility for the energy they bring into this space. Fighting enemy. My philosophy is everyone just getting along.
You know, that's a curious pendant you're wearing.
Oh yes. Helps to have an anchor in these times.
But anywho, you're the owner of this place, right?
I am. The proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
You know, the girl outside mentioned that this place was cursed.
Cursed? Who said that? Annette? I will have a word with her. This place is not cursed. It has a robustly magnetic energy. Good for commercial activity. My business is thriving, sir.
What in God's name is she talking about? Doesn't feel like it's thriving. Feels ghostly.
Wait, speaking of your daughter, she's the one standing outside, yeah?
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl?
No, I was just talking to her to feel like, yeah, she's doing her job.
Wonderful. Did you talk to her?
I just fucking said I did.
Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her?
Her opinion of her daughter depends on how well she lured you into the store.
I'm not going to grade a human being.
Come now, it's not personal. It's about proper sales practices and market research.
Fine,
I expect
fine,
an answer.
fine, 10.
My precious Her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as Mayonette.
You know, I'm here to dismantle the free market and abolish child labor.
You must be kidding. There's nothing like that happening.
Depends. How much do you pay the kid?
Good, sir. What does a young child do with money anyway? No, I save it for her as a fund. She's securing her financial future out there.
Such criminal behavior would not happen in more developed countries.
You know, in some more developed countries, this sort of thing is 2 felonies, child labor and slavery.
Those countries will realize they've raised a lazy and spoiled generation. Are we done with the jokes now?
Yes, we've had quite enough fun here. Right.
But the way you're handling her strikes me as wrong.
Mind your own business, sir. In our society, people don't get to tell each other how to raise their children. It's none of your or anyone's business.
Denial is the way she copes with criticism.
Fine, let's change the
The
subject.
woman before you scans
Hasta la
the
vista,
store.
bitch.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
But what's behind the curtains?
Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel compelled to look at the books? The books are all you care about.
No, they aren't.
She speaks almost as if she's trying to put a spell on you, urging you to buy more books. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become.
But I like the
You see
curtains.
some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, a disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you. This is a traditional Seminese ward, meant to provide protection against ill luck, bad dreams, curses, and other supernatural scourges. Inhabitants of Ile de Fantôme, the Seminine Islands down south. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time. The curtains remain shut before you.
Okay, let's pull them open.
Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers.
I am the police.
Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
Okay.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
You know, what is it about this curse? Why are you so afraid?
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees.
God fucking damn it.
I told you. Now please step away from the curtains.
Ma'am, this is different. I'm the police, and I need to get in there.
Why? It's not like anyone was killed there. I'm sorry.
That's
I don't
oddly
mean to be so
specific.
impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers.
The curtains do seem frail suddenly, not robust enough to contain a slippery darkness.
But I feel this place calling for me. I must investigate beyond this threshold.
You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir.
You know what? I don't care, and you can't stop me.
No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
Talking is always good. Go see what she has to say. There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
Alright, she looks like she wants to talk to us about it now, so maybe she'll let us in?
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
Alright, so why are you so uptight about these curtains?
I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand why it's so important to you. Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books.
You know, if it's a storage room, then why does it have a Seminese ward protecting it?
It's just for decoration. Okay, Fine. It's because this place is cursed. Just like Annette said, they don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
So, have you sought help from anyone?
Yes. I've contacted numerous parapsychologists and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building, even though now I fear it's not enough.
Why didn't you just tell me right away that it's the curse?
It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism, it's dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths angers them.
Wow. Void raves. You have new words.
So how does it manifest itself?
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation. It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
Didn't that curtain just move?
Oh, wait, that's it? I was hoping for something more paranatural.
But officer, there's nothing natural about entire companies declaring bankruptcy. I'm talking about cacodemons feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
You know, based on your personality, I can see why you're unwanted.
Sounds familiar.
But I feel unwanted too. What does this mean?
Truly so? Perhaps the dark energies are leeching off you. You shouldn't stay in the store too long. It may be dangerous.
But is your pendant part of the wards as well?
Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books. There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the book.
So wait, she's not okay with curses in her store, but she's okay with cursing others to feel obligated to buy books. What an asshole.
Desert pygmy shamans. That sounds like a rather questionable way to describe a group of people.
But you know, I could take on the curse.
Most
Or
certainly
the
not.
case for
I
the
don't want
curse.
anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to
I'm going
their
back there
slumber.
anyways, you know that.
My liege, you know what this case calls for? A para-detective.
Wait, we have a -1 because we gave smart-ass parenting advice.
Time to fire
Oh.
up the old lie machine.
Ma'am, do you know how me and my partner are known to our colleagues back at the station?
No.
The lieutenant looks at you, waiting to see where this is going. You've got this. Just go with it. This is elegant.
We're crime bros. We're called crime bros, my partner and I.
You're called what? What is this, a joke, Mr. Policeman? Do you commit crimes together or what?
He turns away, not before you can see a small hint of a smile. He's struggling to not crack up. Technically, that's what crime bros would do. Yes, commit crimes.
No, not like this. We're called crime bros because we like to solve crimes as brothers in arms.
Sir, I really don't have time for your jokes. The situation is very serious.
Okay, fine. We'll come back when we can, lady. I mean, we could just rip them open, but, like, we'll get an advantage on checks. If we're, like, nice to her. Let's look up here, though. Looks like there's apartments over here we could visit. Ooh, can. Dumpster.
Hey, up here, piggo.
What's with everybody calling us pig?
The
streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
You know, yeah, when was the last time you were tested?
Had a battery of tests just last week. I'm practically a patchwork of interesting critters. Kinda like a manowar.
Well, good for them. See, do they know anything about the murder?
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
You keep looking off to the side. What are you looking at?
The lieutenant furrows his brow at another one of your eccentricisms. Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
That Ozon her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Ozon is an archipelago 2 days' travel away from Revachol. Its moneyed residents, used to posh restaurants and upscale boutiques, rarely have reason to visit Martinez.
But who is she?
Probably the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing. You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet.
Kim's endorsing us to be chaotic.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch her swim back to Ozon.
So, what are you doing to the wall?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
So, you don't know what to write?
Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cats. And my name's not Mona, so...
She wants it to be something true and total.
Okay, why are you so committed to defacing the building?
This place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium. I thought I'd mix it up, you know, summon the forces of crime and social chaos with a wall-sized invitation.
You know, I have an opinion on this.
Yeah?
You know what? Actually, I don't have an opinion on this. I lied.
Lying is cool, I guess.
See ya, Cindy.
Watch your back, ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
Haha, I got eyes too.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked.
Knock.
The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response.
Knock, knock.
The door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door! I'm not letting any more strangers inside.
But this is the police.
The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here.
But I'm not joking.
No, I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building.
But...
Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
backyard door. There must be another entrance to the east.
Kim, tell her we're the real policemen.
Madame, I assure you, we are real police officers.
There is no reply. Just faint sweeping sounds inside.
Aw. Ooh, bottle. Ooh, magnesium. Let's go. Bottles. Kim, you're in the way, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. And let's talk to the Wild Pines rep to see what she has to say.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
What does the L stand for in Joyce L?
Baton, my maiden name.
But what's the RCM? I kind of forgot.
I meant you, the Revachol Citizens Militia, the police.
And what gave us away?
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Relax. She meant it in jest.
You know what? It wasn't funny. I'm not shaking your hand.
I'm glad to see you here.
She is unfazed by your rudeness, probably chalking it up to local custom.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even.
Bamboozlement, in fact.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
You know, you seem rich. Money?
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy, is it?
Okay, why not?
Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub.
Yeah, she has great fabrics.
Why, yes. Tucked away under that sturdy green raincoat, almost rustic in its simplicity, a silk shirt and matching scarf around her gentle throat. While dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. Her light green eyes scan you, full of knowledge and worry, wealth and all its possibilities. These are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say everything is possible. Within reason.
And what's your point, Brain?
Now look at you. You misery-clad simian. Barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes.
Are we getting like the Chad Virgin person right now?
Your hair sticks to your forehead and your underwear feels uncomfortable. You're poor. Poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too...
You know, we shouldn't be ashamed. We're a working man.
You think your little communism protects you from this feeling? No. The more demeaning it is to grovel at her feet.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
You know what? We're going to say it. Can I have some money?
Voila,
Yeah.
you're doing it.
You seem rich. Can I have money? No, wait. Can I have some money, ma'am?
Of course. How much do you need?
She's surprisingly nonchalant about this. Could it be that she somehow knows more about your predicament than she's letting on?
I could go for 100 rial.
That's a good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large.
She removes a few notes and hands them to you. The paper is cold and oily to the touch.
Hehe.
So, I hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still.
You know, it's funny that you were worried about this and not your ruthless exploitation of the entire human race.
You're right, man, that donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, unseemly as it may be, as long as they are properly logged with the precinct.
Which he most certainly will do. Now, how else can I help the RCM today, besides supplementing its salaries?
You're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
You know, not a lot of people on boats.
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
Wait, we're on an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
I thought we were in Revachol.
We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou.
But I haven't seen anybody else on a boat around here.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich.
Okay. One moment. And I'm back. Where were we? Yeah, we're gonna make her admit that she only has this boat because she's rich.
Before you do, it would be pertinent to ask other questions. Gather more info on this boat of hers.
Okay, fine. Does your boat have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
The word "it" feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Yeah, but it kind of needs a name.
Okay. How about Cordelati 19? Why? Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordelati, and its hull is 19 paces long.
Yeah, how about the sleek fish?
What?
Because it's sleek and fish-like.
I think I'll stick with the factory name, but thank you.
Yeah, but what kind of boat is it?
It's a pleasure craft, a 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing, though these days I mainly use it for business.
And how do you like it?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I hate that.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Do you have a license for this boat?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act, a law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this.
Fine, let's talk about the economics of this boat you're on.
Oh my, the E word. You mean to say that it's a symbol of conspicuous consumption? That I'm a member of the ruling class?
Precisimundo, class 4 time, baby.
Detective, may I remind you that Mrs. Messier is a professional negotiator?
Then what does that say? Does it say docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A? 33A? This old proletarian haunt here? As I said, plenty of people drive boats of all social strata.
Okay, come on. We can win this. Yeah.
Flesh.
You know, this house was built before the revolution.
Okay, it is anti-centennial.
And the people who live here now lead a different lifestyle, if you know what I mean.
I assure you, they drove quite a hard bargain for this space. But you're right. I am a bourgeois woman, and this is my fast, lightweight, interminably bourgeois boat.
There is no shame in her voice. A touch of sadness, yes, but no shame.
I think I've handled the boat thing.
Good.
So, let's see. Do you know something about these tattoos?
The man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
So you know something about the tattoos?
Better not tie the forestay to the backstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
Fine, what can you tell me about this lynching?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57, and this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
Yes, remember when my partner told you I had suffered from an unusual medical episode? Yeah, I lost my badge because of it.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
Yes.
I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please.
It is possible that after a night of heavy drinking, I lost all my memory of my life in the world.
Oh, dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
And what kind of arrangement would it be?
I mean, favors for favors. A dirty alliance of some sort. Consider this. Perhaps she has been planning it all along. That you convince yourself into colluding with her.
And how do I negotiate my way out of this?
Feelings
Damn.
will guide the way.
But madam, I need to know about this lynching. It is very important to me. It's the case I'm solving.
I assure you, it is no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible.
But you don't understand. This isn't my side case. This is my main case.
Trust me, officer, I am fully committed to resolving this impasse. This isn't some side gig for me.
But you have so much else. I only have this. This is the entirety of my existence.
She's silent. The wind flaps the sail above her.
This boat, for example, in a home somewhere. I only have this case.
Officer.
This case is what I'll be known by.
You know, I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back. More than just guilt.
You're doing it. Despite your own best efforts, you're still getting in. Somehow.
I'll be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something tangible.
Like?
The Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbor. It's an open secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the RCM either. Perhaps it's time to look into it. Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Excuse us for a moment.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective.
And how did you hope it would go?
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchmen.
Whoa, so we're henchmen now.
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation.
It's alright, Mew. You don't have to apologize. Her proposal was likely part of the design. That all is.
Yes.
Or this all is.
Knowing this does not really change our position, however.
But I'll get a handle on the situation.
I'm sure you will, Detective.
But what do you propose? That we don't investigate the drug trafficking?
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done and demand for her information on the lynching.
Or we could, just find my badge.
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters.
Fair point.
The situation might have changed drastically by the time you locate it. Time is of the essence.
You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months.
Fine, let's speak to her again.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Tell me about the alleged drug trafficking.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samaran Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
So, wait, let me get this straight. The materials come from Samara to Revachol through the terminal.
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter. north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut.
And you want us to investigate?
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
The lorries?
Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they're vulnerable. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment. I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
So why didn't you come to the RCM earlier about this?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
It's no coincidence the lorries are stranded there like that, is it?
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue. Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open the drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand.
Oh, so the company pretty much controls this town too. Or the entrance to the town. What proof do you have that the Union is involved?
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves.
So you think the strike is being funded with some ingredients for drugs?
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
We already have some suspicions that one of the drivers was present at the lynching.
The two might even be connected.
Or not. Though, if you have evidence to the contrary, I'm eager to hear it.
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the job is done.
Okay, I've made up my mind about the smuggling investigation.
Yes?
We will take this case, probe the drivers, see what it yields.
Excellent.
Not that we have to help her.
According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
So tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do?
What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
So, what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain.
And who were the other Indo-tribes?
Son-Baptiste, LUM, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star.
So you're in good company, it seems.
Why, thank you.
How much money does Wild Pines have?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
A billion?
The money I owe is so much less than that.
Yes, past a certain point, numbers begin to seem imaginary, but they are quite real for the 72,000 employees who depend on Wild Pines for their paychecks. A conglomerate the size of Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving and growing, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It is a tremendous responsibility.
One moment. So, where does Wild Pines get all these billions?
They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when Pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lomantang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
See, it probably helps to start out with a royal monopoly.
You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most
Welcome
of the
back, Mew.
original Indo-tribes have failed or been absorbed. To survive, Wild Pines had to grow and adapt. No suzerain did that.
What does such a huge system want with a place like this?
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
You don't have to, you don't keep it moving, the workers do. The company is nothing without them.
We built this district.
We. There it is. She owns up to it.
All the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, with its bastions, the plazas Meteor and Mosaic. Even some of the old street lamps have been put back thanks to the investments from the WP. Before Martinez was swallowed by the industrial harbour, even before it was part of Revachol, long before Terminal B was erected here, the Pines built it as a resort for its Revacholian employees. A company getaway, for a weekend or a summer holiday. Then came the revolution. But that's another matter. I'm here to make sure the Pines can fulfill their responsibilities to the place they built.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
Now, what can you tell me about this strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
And what if I want to hear these trade secrets?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
An octopus? Then I shall slay it.
Good luck is only kept in place by the vested interests of half the civilized world, including your own.
What the ma'am means is that the Emergencies Act and the RCM both get their authority from the coalition government.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot in other words.
Okay, let's leave it alone.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
Yeah, what's your role in it?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
So, tell us about this behemoth.
What can I say? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organization now.
But how are the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike?
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
Tell me about this union boss, Mr. Clare.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first. Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
But he sounds like a hero of the workers' movement.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Wait, there's 2 of them?
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the union itself, outside the Brothers Clare?
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
An effective advocate for the rights of the local working men.
Why do you think so?
Between Everard the Human Leech and Measurehead, the union sounds like a motley crew. I'm into it.
Well, I suppose that's one way to look at it. They're an interesting composition, albeit vile. But enough about Everard. What else can I do for you?
What were their demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes, every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
I like it.
Then you might also like their other slogan. Demand democracy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Personally, I don't think it has the same pizzazzo as every worker a member of the board.
And what exactly do they mean by it, though? What's the demand?
It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about what? About anything, really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
Well, the king is dead. Long live the workers.
That may well be. It's not up to me to decide who is king, but as negotiations go, it's not a swell start.
But what are you going to do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyar at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me manana."
This checks out.
What happened to Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Not cool.
Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the Union.
One more thing. You'd said something happened in the elections?
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
Some kind of extortion, probably.
Indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a Union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Well, that's all I need. Let's change the
Of
topic.
course. How else can I help?
You do seem like a smart lady, and I kind of need the lowdown on this reality we're in.
This reality.
Yes, reality is your side case. An experimental side case.
It's related to my medical episode.
Ah, yes. The episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy, now that I think of it.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
Yeah, simple.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Okay, where are we?
We're in Martinez, baby.
And what is in Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Okay, tell me about Martinez, though.
I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. As I told you, Martinez used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its part. Now the reeds are the real star of the show here. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
So what sea is this?
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
Are we near the ocean?
Yes. We are on an island in an ocean, the world's largest body of water, the Insulindic.
Known to the early Revacholians as Les Immensités Bleues, the blue immensities. Vast, lukewarm and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
Wait, what's the name of this island?
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the river Esperance. We're in the delta of this river on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her.
Let's see.
And to humanity.
Sorry about that. I was just talking to somebody real quick. Okay, that's Martinez. What's Revachol?
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
Yeah, but what kind of city?
The great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory. Beyond patriotism. A fact.
What makes Revachol great?
History, detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
But who built the city?
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Semenine and Ile Marat, depending on your creed.
But when was it built?
In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
Sorry, try not to sneeze. And why will it resolve history?
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest.
The power of knocking on a door is a marvelous thing.
By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men. We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people. In the middle of the Insulindic Ocean. The world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
So we're an unimportant part of an important place?
I think it's fair to say so. Martinez is about 22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
Say nothing. Observe the large body of water swelling. Cold.
She observes your eyes scanning the horizon, then breaks the silence, slowly. This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Ma'am, Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Scuffed garlic bread. Well, wait, does that mean the garlic bread's not good?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
But I want to know everything
That is
now.
understandable, but perhaps it's better not to eat all your candy at once.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
And that
The
is...
revolution.
What is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
When was this kerfuffle?
Turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
But who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Marzolf came along and overthrew the government.
And what did this... Bleh, what did this Tezzerath do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
No way.
Indeed. Zarat is a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Where did it spread from
From
there?
Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Marzolf's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
Well, what came next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie? A pair of pants?
Our lives are very different from each other.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think.
Well, I hope it turns out good, Mew. What is this zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
What happened to the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
51 minus 8 equals...
Whoa, wait. You're saying it's been like this for 43 years?
Time flies.
What have we been doing all this time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to 19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
Were they?
No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s, dispelled it like a cold splash. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are. Welcome to reality, baby.
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the zone of control. You can see it in her eyes. Days slipping away.
We do need our inland empire better. But we also need drama up, so let's level that. You know, you don't seem to be very thrilled.
I've no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova, this raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it. No, it's just... We could have had so much more. Every one of us. If only we played it right.
Who got shot in the head?
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
She's not gloating. It's a relieved celebration.
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Did the communists and the anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
That's a tragedy.
Yes. The Red Deluge. The Insulindian Deluge, they call it.
Anyone else get shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Yeah, I really don't give a shit about kings.
About head shooting?
Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
And by liberals, you mean...
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
But how did the liberals win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
We. She's one of them. Of course.
But if everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, you just said the liberals already took everything.
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
And who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
Moralist?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
Man, I actually don't know the answer on this one. We're gonna go with I don't think I'm a moralist, ma'am.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work.
And what would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
Well, I asked you.
And I asked you, past less detective of the citizens' militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
Maybe I would have sought a medical solution.
So a quarter of humanity
It is a massive lore dump.
simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion, a complex folding protein, unlife, with a technology 50 years ago?
Also, this isn't even the rest of the lore dump. There's still more we can ask her. With some hygiene, modest social care, and perhaps a little research program.
Hygiene. Really? A very moderate solution to an extreme problem. It's those sort of half measures that doomed the authorities in Grad. When they failed to step up, Marzov and his party stepped in. In this particular case, maybe a more
I have been.
state response might have been appropriate.
Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM.
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir.
Understandable.
That's enough about the
They
times.
are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
What is this acute blah 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 blah? I can't pronounce that.
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out.
I will say this is probably the longest conversation they have in the game, and it's probably best we just get it out of the way now. Plus, we get a lot of XP out of this.
She conveys it in short, cold bursts, trying not to invest too deeply in the condition of this doomed detective, in case he goes down later, souring the entire portfolio.
I know you've got a lot riding on me, and I won't let you down. But actually, we'll just say, got it. Let me ask something else.
My guest.
What is... Well, let's think of something close to us.
It remains a mystery
we failed.
what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you.
What is...
A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all. It's on the tip of your tongue.
Okay, we only got 2 more questions.
Already in your head.
You know, I want to know what you are.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
Dios mío, a liberal.
Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists. I can see you thought we'd gone extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. You're a centrist at heart. A real moralist, no? Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
Yeah, yeah, you're way off. We're communists, but she's an ultra-liberal. Yeah, I don't care.
Punishment, to be forgotten, if not forgiven. save a prayer for us in our chateaus on Azon and in Stella Maris. When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
And what would you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinaise a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition. Not here in Martinaise, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake, then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
You're a smart woman.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
We'll see. I probably still have at least like another hour of stream, so we can see where we are after that.
You're no dummy yourself.
So am
A
I.
smart boy getting smarter, one basic term of reality at a time.
So you're a patriot?
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, man.
You have daughters?
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
You know, what is this?
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar region?
No, I meant what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two.
And what is that?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course. Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
Splat, splat.
Wonderful.
What is that? Point to Cindy the skull.
The girl in the old lady rags.
Yes.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
The infraculture?
Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
Okay, now explain the same thing, but to a... No, we understand.
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead. All right. What next?
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture.
I think I may be part of the infraculture.
And what would that be?
Disco.
I can see that, yes.
Disco cop.
I dabbled in those dark arts myself, not so long ago. I assure you, it was a thoroughly supracultural phenomenon. All permeating. Downright mandatory. Nothing infra about disco, baby.
You're a disco?
Those days are long behind me. And even in the early 30s, I would say I was more of a new girl. Disco was a minor, but still enjoyable facet of the whole thing for me.
The new?
The new. A cultural era. And the name of the decade it ravished, the 30s. It came out of post-revolutionary Revachol. It was ultra-liberal. It involved lots of partying, as you might imagine, and champagne-colored everything. By the looks of it, that would have been when you came of age. Now.
Got it. Let's take it back to Reality Central for one next thing.
Maximum brio, officer.
You know what? That's actually it for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know.
Yeah,
Anything else?
bye-bye.
Of course, detective. Take care.
Well, that was fun. Hour-long convo.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Let's see if we can visualize this.
You have no clue. It's just a wall. So many walls all over Martinez. Weather-worn, cracked, their paint peeling.
Yeah, we got money. We got $100 from kind of robbing that lady.
Are you trying to sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat in my sleep?
Apparently, she doesn't like people standing behind her back. Logic error. She is not sleeping right now.
Pig's come to take me out. Trying to snuff me out.
Are you sleeping right now?
Don't get fucking clever with me, pig. You think you're so clever.
Okay, you're not sleeping.
You see a young man on a balcony nursing a cigarette. His eyes have been following you for a while.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
It's the voice of someone who has something to hide, my liege.
You hiding something? Speak up. This is the police.
There's no trouble. I'm just speaking in a lowered voice. I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie if that's okay. I just want to finish my cigarette.
Don't let him go. This could be your witness. The balcony has a great view of the whole thing.
But we need to talk to you.
Is it really that important?
Like a nervous cat, he keeps stealing looks at the neighboring windows.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run.
What's your name?
My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
That's definitely not his real name.
That's not your real name.
No, of course not. Could you please lower your voice?
Well, it looks like you've got a good view of the Whirling's backyard. Can you tell me anything about the hanging?
I'd even go so far as to say that the view is a little too good, my dear gendarme. Do you have an estimate of when the body will be taken away?
We will remove the body as soon as possible. Now tell us, where were you last Sunday?
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you?
Wait, is someone else investigating the lynching?
Wait, did you?
No, not you two. Some more muscular type.
And when did you speak to this more muscular gentleman?
Last week? I don't know. Look.
A downy blanket of white to cover up the miserable poverty of the scene.
You didn't answer the question. What were you doing last Sunday?
I had a friend over.
What kind of friend?
It was my Sunday friend.
What's your friend's real name? Did he see something?
He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. Under the dull and darkening sky, the neighboring windows stand silent.
Okay. Let's talk later.
No. We won't. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
Wait, don't leave.
This isn't the place or time for questions. Who knows who might be watching from the distance, hidden behind the curtains?
Listen, I'm just trying to make sure things are okay again. Can we meet somewhere else to talk?
For a moment, The man on the balcony seems almost vulnerable. Something moves in the depths of his feline eyes. Compassion and a hint of understanding. There's snow gathering on his hair and on his shoulders. A speckle of white against the purple that hangs loose on his slender frame.
I am sorry, but I really don't have the information you're looking for.
But, hold on, what's that? For a split second, his hand lingers, as though gesturing towards a stone placed right next to the front door. It's a sign.
Good luck with the investigation.
Okay, so we can talk to him.
He's gone.
We should run after him and see where he
No
went.
point in running. Tenements like these often have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know how to hide himself.
So we're just going to give up?
He could be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. Either way, we need to look into that muscular type who's asking about our case. He did leave us a sign. Did you see that? He wanted to draw our attention to that stone right over there. If we find a way inside the building, we can ask around for his apartment.
Got it. Let's do it.
A stone, like any other, lying in a whirl of sleet and mud. Maybe there's something under it. There's a key beneath it, rusty from the dirt.
This must be for the front door. Pity doesn't have the apartment number on it. This building has many apartments and the man can be in any of them.
So how will we find the right one?
We'll just have to go in and see.
Oh, okay. See, Kim wanted to talk to us at some point too. Check on your badge, damages. Okay, 2,200. See, nothing there. Wait, what's this? Hey, a bum hat. We got a hat now. Moving up in the world. Perfect for the Hobocop. Let's see if we can go in here. Ah, it's locked. Okay, so that takes us to the balcony. Eviction notice. Wait, glasses? Hell yeah, glasses.
That isn't just a five-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers. The iconography of communism, in other words. The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mezov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure.
Okay, why is the star upside down?
To symbolize the toppling of the old order. Also, some social democrats were already using it.
What's the deal with the antlers?
The wreath of antlers represents a natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world, and at the same time above it.
But why white?
Because white is the color of peace.
But what does it evoke in me?
Gone is the glory
of
hope. Only the scribblings of impoverished students remain in dirty hallways.
Sag.
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says, number 11. No reply. It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. A solid pair of chain cutters would make short work of it. Better whip out those cutters. You won't get very far otherwise.
Oh, we have our cutters. Tools, chain cutters. There we go.
This door has been closed with a padlock. The shackle snaps like a twig, and the lock falls to the floor with a little thud. It should be possible to enter now.
After you, detective.
Hey, lounge jacket. Let's go.
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads Kraz Mazov. Honestly, he does kind of look like you after all.
You know, Kim, this does look remarkably similar to me.
Hold on a second. Is this why you broke in here? To find out whether you're Krasmazov?
You know, I have to consider and investigate all possibilities.
Except that Krasmazov is dead. He's been dead for 50 years now.
But just humor me, don't you see it?
Well, you both do seem to share an affinity for sideburns. But it seems like old Kras here didn't drink nearly as much as you.
Well, how do you know? The bus is probably just a romanticized depiction anyways.
Very well. Let's look for identifying features then. Doesn't he have a birthmark right here? What about you?
I can't see my face.
All right, but here's the big thing. Krasmazov looks Samaran, and you don't.
I'm part Samaran myself.
Okay, you win. Be Krasmazov then. I don't care. Why are you so hell-bent on proving that you're Krasmazov anyway?
What's my opinion on kidney stones? I think they're the worst thing that you can get. Because that... Bleh. Because I'm a communard.
All right, Kras. You fought in the revolution and everything, if you say so.
What does the tenant have a bust of Krasmazov in the room?
The White Star, the photos on the wall. I think we have broken into the apartment of a young communard. How fitting.
Father Mazov, the hero of the working class.
Whoever lives here definitely shares your enthusiasm.
I don't know. I just think the idea of a stone like ripping through your dick sounds kind of painful.
There aren't many communists around. Not after the revolution. Some youth still keep the ideology going, it seems.
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says 10. The walking stops abruptly, but no one comes to the door. You can feel tension on the other side. A poor communard from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
Do I have to open the door? Do you have a warrant? I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant.
Let's go. We don't have a reason to get inside that apartment.
It's generally easier to do things if you have literally any reason.
All right.
Rigorous self-critique. Here it is. Hard facts from the man you are. You once jerked off in the locker room.
No.
Court. You held a young woman by the arm and kept her in your apartment
No.
for 20 minutes against her will. That's right. These are not flights of fancy. These are real deeds, Harry, emerging from the darkness of your past. You tried shooting a fleeing suspect in the foot, but hit him in the pelvis, crippling him for life. And, above all, you let life defeat you. All the gifts your parents gave you, all the love and patience of your friends, you drowned in a neurotoxin. You let misery win, and it will keep on winning till you die, or overcome it.
Man. Oh, wait. Physical and motor red check failures here, and for health and... Oh my god, so failing heals us. Let's go. Let's do the... Can we not internalize this? Oh, wait. How do we unlock a new slot? Hold on. Unlock slot Disco Elysium. Oh, we can unlock a slot through leveling up. Okay. And it costs us XP to forget something. Okay. Neat. Door 9 is locked. Ooh, a box. This is just another exit to the outside. Oh, through that door. Cool. So that takes us to the balcony as well. Another sad apartment. Someone has torn down the wall. Fridge.
What happened here?
Can't foreclose an apartment with a hole in the wall.
It will still be accessible through the apartment next to it. That one didn't have a door. Sadly, nothing of great value remains here.
Well, except the stuff in the fridge.
Indeed.
Which we already took. Let's go up to the balcony. Oh wait, we didn't talk to that lady.
Give me a moment.
Oh, thanks, Mew.
The cold never does any good for my bronchitis.
Are you alright? Should I call a doctor?
I'm fine. Fine. Don't you worry about me.
You're still worried. It's very worrying.
Now, what do you want from me, policeman?
She's the cleaning lady. She knows the floor plan and the residence.
Well, I first want to know who you are.
I'm no one. Just an old woman who cleans these hallways.
Do you live here?
If you can call it living. I have a little room upstairs right next to the coal room. It's barely bigger than a closet. But I don't complain, no. I have my bed and my aching bones to keep me company. And that's all I need from this world.
I'm looking for a young male in his mid-20s, dark hair, skinny build, a smoker on the balcony.
Yes, yes. I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right?
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower.
What's he in trouble for?
Oh, no trouble. We just want to speak to him.
Talk? He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. He's usually home in the evening.
Thank you. We should go check out his apartment on the balcony. See if he's home.
I do have a few questions about those apartments.
Ask away, policeman.
Actually, we're good for the moment. We just went through a really long conversation. I kind of don't want to go through another one just yet, so... Oh, more money. Let's go up to the balcony. Oh, so we're gonna have to go through the other stairwell to go to the other balcony. Okay. Oh, money. Wait, I'm gonna bet I can't come over here. No, I can't.
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security. Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives.
Let's see if anyone's home. Knock on the door.
No one answers.
Looks like the young man we are looking for isn't home. I think our best chance to catch him is in the evening. We should return tomorrow after we have finished with our day's work. How about 9 p.m.? Sound good? Tomorrow, 9 p.m., right here.
Okay. Guess we come back tomorrow.
28. Good, let's go.
Damn. Turns out it's quite tricky finding someone in a big apartment building. Don't worry. You'll get him. Remember, tomorrow. He's probably gone for today.
Because it is getting to the end of the day here, so we'll probably have to start wrapping stuff up.
Ruination has come. The broken arches betray the once grand history of this building. It towered over the harbor until it happened. A great force from the northeast fired into the city. Heavy artillery shelled the coastline, fired from the water, a straight shot into Revachol. The tenement acted as a defensive wall against the worst of the shelling until it was destroyed, and they had a direct firing line.
Taking the ocean.
The waves of the Martinez Inlet rolled over the fallen remains of the building. The dark waters obscured the better part of the remains. What didn't fall into the ocean was used as scrap. What wasn't used as scrap was thrown into the ocean. Those arches acted as support for something greater than what you see now. Only 3 stories stand where 9 to 12 once did. Restoration has failed. What the shelling took out was never rebuilt. A fleet, the combined armies of Occident and Grad, with Mesk volunteers, a 5-nation army, hundreds of vessels. They massed airships further down in the Bay of Revachol. The artillery was so powerful. The ships not only required gyroscopic stabilization, they were anchored into the ocean floor as well. Many are still there to this day. If you squint, you can just barely see the shadow on the water, far in the northeast. Cannons still ready to placate Revachol.
Kim, do you know who shelled our city?
The Coalition, but that was a long time ago. I think we should move on. It's chilly up here.
He does not like talking politics of this kind.
Hey, Cindy.
Ooh, the piggies have learned how to saunter up staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves. But here you are.
Yeah, we evolved.
Yeah, I can see that. Cool mutations.
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's heavy fuel oil.
Wait, is that heavy fuel oil?
Red dyed heavy fuel oil, intended for exclusive use in government vehicles, to be precise.
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself. Back in Jamrock.
She really did it. She's proud of it too.
That's some clever cultural commentary.
You ain't seen nothing yet, Piggy Boo.
See ya, Cindy. I like Cindy. She's cool. Oh, this is that one lady's apartment. Oh, no, wait. Cindy's place. Cindy is just inhaling, like, fucking fumes. Hey, we got... Wait, what are these called? Pour le homme laborer jeans. Cool. Let's fucking equip them.
The pockets of these new jeans are perfect for sticking your hand into. Makes you look cool, calm, and collected. As your hand enters the pocket, your fingers brush against something, soft, yet crinkly. Hey, it's a chewing gum wrapper. It reminds you of the fruity juice of apricots. You should inspect it closer if you have time. Something about the wrapper's texture is familiar. By the way, the raw materials were most likely exported from Seaguy, the apricot suzerainty, and processed in sur-le-clay into the apricot-flavored chewing gum, loved by kids of today and yesterday. Something about it is familiar.
Ooh, money. One moment. Okay. This is getting pretty close to the end of the day, but we have to wait till 2200 to talk with Kim. Do a little bit more exploring. I'll actually go talk to Dolores again, see if we can get back there.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime.
Oh, wait.
Several maps have... The maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of Insulinda.
It's only 90 cents. Let's get it.
Always good to be informed of your...
Cool, now we have a map. Let's speak to Dolores.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biography.
Slither up to her, you silver-tongued fiend. Show her what world-class perfidy looks like.
Ma'am, I came here to help. I've handled paranatural situations before.
Are you sure? Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before.
I sense the psychic emanations from afar. The sleep beyond calls out.
I'm not sure I can trust your claims. Honestly, you look like a bit of a drinker.
Well,
I'm sorry
I am.
for being so blunt, but...
The lieutenant keeps his usual stony calm. He silently picks out his notebook. Go ahead then. Rock her world, he thinks. I'll compose some notes.
You know, I admit I've had my fair share of drinks, but only because the spectral realm is parapsychologically taxing.
How do you know all this?
Here we go.
I am the Void Revenant, I have the powers to debad all the bad energies.
I should have realized. A pattern lies within the fabric. The hand of fate guides us. Our meeting couldn't have been mere chance.
Perhaps you truly are the one to deliver this woman from the doom.
But I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us.
Just ask my partner Kim. He'll vouch for me.
Oh, I can assure you he is a police officer. Very knowledgeable.
If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it?
On my honor.
Thank you, sir. There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet. The entity.
Do not act surprised. You know of these things, sire.
Of course, the entity, for I have sensed its presence.
You have? The entity takes the form of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you know that she lives inside the chimney?
Chimney. The passage between heaven and hell, of course.
Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Here's the key to the warded door behind the curtains. Take it. Oh, and please do return to me after you've looked round. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. What you discover in there.
Unbelievable darkness and ruin. What you discover? Probably just some office space. Don't be scared.
Well, cool beans. Now we go back there to investigate. For a little bit, because we'll have to go to bed soon.
You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Seminese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
I don't know why I keep on calling her Doris. She looks like a Doris.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked.
Yeah, let's just unlock the door.
After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key.
Hey, new skill point.
It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room.
Unlocked a new slot. Let's... we haven't got Hobocop yet, but... Let's do the Suicide of Krasmazov. And we're in. Ooh, a bull. Which means we can replace it.
What is this place?
It's the netherworld beyond the veil.
No, it's a gym. Though it looks like no one's been here in ages. I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us. Don't forget to take it out of your bag before we move on.
An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
Let's just keep going. I'm sure it's just a regular abandoned house. Nothing mysterious here.
Sounds good.
There, we have our flashlight just in case now.
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. Why does it feel so familiar?
Hold on, is there anything that'll increase our physical instrument? Or any of these? So, can try it again
The
at least.
barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master.
Hey Kim, there's no collars on this
You're right.
barbell.
The weight's may fall off. Better not touch it then.
You know, I really don't care about safety hazards.
No one does until they get smashed under the barbell.
Is this familiar because I'm a weightlifter?
No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling is gone. It's just a memory from another life. When you were young and fit.
Let's try to lift it. I bet we're going to hurt ourselves. Yep, good thing we healed up.
You managed to hoist it off the ground, but the barbell feels wobbly and dangerous. Your hands slick with sweat. Turns out you're no beast, just an old man with bad form. See? See? This place is cursed.
You know, fuck you, you stupid barbell.
Weightlifting was never my
Well, I hurt myself.
At the station gym, I mean. I prefer running. It clears your head.
Yeah, running. I personally, when it comes to working out, enjoy running or jogging more than just... Well, I don't know. It depends. I feel like lifting is a good way to get stress out of your system. Running's just a good way to clear your head. At least from my personal experience. That bird. Oh, money. A half-naked torso. Okay. More money. A filament. Okay. It's over here.
An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This must be where the entity lives. What an odd thing to do. Nothing happens. Still nothing. No one's home. Those curtains
That almost killed us. Okay.
surprisingly sturdy. Your fist hurts now. If this is really an entrance to the chimney, then there must be a furnace somewhere as well. Maybe there's another
coffee.
way.
Can you please try to refrain from attacking random things?
I can try.
Thanks. In any case, there's no way we can get in right now. Let's investigate further.
Okay. There's melting snow. Yeah, somebody has to have lived here then. Let's come back in here then. Wait.
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board. The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: Call in, Tune out, Wirral Untethered, and Heat Death of the Universe. This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like Sprint, Daily Minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. Minimi stands for a mini-meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed. As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details." The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe. These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? You should adopt one of those welkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a welkin. One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however. It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Tworg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures.
One of them is a welcome supremacist.
Mm-hmm. Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too.
But are these creatures real? I have so many questions.
This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real.
But why spend so much time on it?
Some people really like building a world, I think. Even if it's just for a game.
Oh, let's move on from the Welkins.
Just look at those details. So much effort.
And for what? All gone. This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. A diagram for summoning some time-forgotten being. The symbols seem very esoteric. The whole thing resembles Kadran mosaic tiles. Very pedantic. History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun. Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic. Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
So we're dealing with something medical here.
I think so. The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants.
Wait, if it's a game, then who's playing?
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like.
That's kind of cool.
All of this is gone, left unrealized.
Sad.
There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
And you say that why?
The schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
What else?
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages. This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
A radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside.
Do you think it should turn
We
on?
have one of these down at the station, but I never really learned how to use it.
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open.
Let's look inside of it.
It's empty, like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment.
Okay, we'll insert the filament.
Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking. A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Have you stirred the ghost of the doomed commercial area from its rest? Could this be its dismembered heart beginning to flutter? The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall.
Yeah, I thought there was no electricity in this building.
Out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good evening, Fortress Accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
What is the production schedule?
The filament you have inserted into the reader.
Got it.
That was a question. Have you inserted it into the core?
Yes.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Password? Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved.
This is the police. Can you just open it?
I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder Fortress Accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament.
I'm afraid we are not doing that, unless we want to wait for a month.
Now, can you please repeat the password?
Yeah, we don't know it.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
Fortress Accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Why are you calling me Fortress Accident?
Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to.
And do you have any other information about this company?
One moment. Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
That's not bad.
And what's that? This interactive call-in radio game?
Any other questions?
That's all for now.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are the filament slides. Nothing happened.
Okay, so we'll just take the filament with us then.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
It's just a failed business. The only question is, what the hell were they making?
Yes, that is the question. It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
Utter madness, he thinks, as a compliment.
I wonder, what do you think happened to the company?
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard.
And this was a role-playing game?
Indeed. Those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the We World board game, with hit death thrown in.
Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished.
And has anyone ever done this before?
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry. But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an interinsulary game before. We just don't have the technology.
Wonder how they were planning to do that.
Call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in a game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the game master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts. Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but
You know this world is cold and lonely, and this would keep it company. Let's finish it.
It's too late for that, I'm afraid. Okay,
Aw.
let's keep moving.
Kim actually sounds broken up by that. That's a polar bear. Check that out last. Ice cream maker.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
There's a hole in the wall.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
Kim, there's rifles in here.
Are these any good?
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest. But one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others.
You know, this one looks nice.
A rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
I wonder where we are.
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
Well, what does this mean? A rifle here.
It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find.
Oh, neat. Okay, more stuff to boost our morale.
2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads off into the darkness, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby.
Don't rip the red one out. You'll awaken the ghosts.
Well, first let's, oh, that must be the exit to here. Insane mesh tank top, let's go. Put that on. So let's, maybe the fridge is off then? Because if that's the case, we might have to do something to fix that.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony.
Let's look inside the furnace.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs.
What are you doing?
I'm not sure, Kim, but I think I hear somebody upstairs.
Wait, really? Maybe it's coming from behind those safety curtains we saw upstairs.
Smear your hands with coal.
A layer of coal now covers your skin, sinking into the wrinkles. Your hands look ancient.
You feel the spirit of Ramut Karzai, ancient hero of Grad, pulsing through you. All that's left is to cover your face in war paint. 3 dangerous stripes appear onto your cheeks, telling stories of your wild soul.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Sorry, I was being stupid.
Yes, it was.
These voices I heard, maybe it's the malignant entity. Placis said it was in a chimney.
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected, but malignant entities don't exist. At least not the supernatural kind.
See if we can yell.
Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello?
You've awakened the entity.
I summon the ghost of this doomed commercial area. Answer me, spirit.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the 2nd floor. I'll open it.
You hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
We did it.
You, officer.
Okay, so let's check out the bear. see if we can do anything here.
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear's eyes are glowing red. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy? A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside.
We could probably put the body in here once we get it down.
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge. Let's take a look inside.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge. You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door. A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge.
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge. I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
The fridge buzzes with energy.
So let's go upstairs then. Right, one moment. All right, let's talk to our friend here.
Hello, I'm Nia.
Hi, Nia.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius. So what kind of die are you looking for?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
You must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Wait, what do you mean by malaise?
Yes, a melee is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these. Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
Why are you asking about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
You know what? Yeah, I could use some dice.
Very good. My rate is 10 real per set. Unless you want something really unusual. Take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shelves like stalagmites. This person means you, or no one else, absolutely no harm. She will answer freely and honestly. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
So, where are we?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know. But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse.
Creative.
I've heard this place is cursed. Did you know that people call it the doomed commercial area?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
Plaisance is the one who sent me. She's convinced that the place is swarming with malicious energies.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There's hardly any customers, and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going.
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
Wait, it's part of the doomed commercial area?
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East of the Commerce Central project.
Well, it's not doing well either. Its waitress just took off and customers have trouble paying for bills.
And then there is me. I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
You know, it's because you're competent and dedicated to your craft. The curse doesn't affect people like you.
What, so the curse only affects people with poor work ethics? What you're describing isn't a curse, it's capitalism.
Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
You know, I'm starting to see that there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we could see. Plaisance is not going to like what you have to tell her. The bookstore closes starting 2100. You'll have to do that tomorrow.
Do you know what happened to the other tenants?
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
The hair salon?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad.
I guess I'm a simple man. I don't really have an opinion on haircuts.
Me neither. I just want it off my face.
What about the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym. It was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
God, maybe that's what Kuno needs.
Kuno? Who's Kuno?
Indeed, who is Kuno? Your guess is really as good as mine.
Oh, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard. I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
How did the community project work out?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
What about, or like, what's up with the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias. Who would have guessed?
What's the snuff milieu?
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Shame about those windows. I'm not even going to ask about the milieu.
Yeah, don't.
Did someone here make stuffed animals?
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
Oh.
Anything else?
Yeah, I did see these creepy
There
mannequins.
used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
What?
Mm-hmm. The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings.
Huh.
And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
Well, I'm glad somebody took care of the little guys. I like insects.
Really? Anyway.
Poor guy. Suddenly, you get a feeling that insects are important to the case somehow. It's hard to say why.
What's with the rotor blades and skis?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money. Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
And what do the transmissions
The
say?
usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
They were just the props. Why return them?
You know, I did see this strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She liked them.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
What does that mean?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
Well, what went wrong?
Well, I did hear them talking at times. They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
From what I've seen so far, the project did look quite impressive.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time.
Yeah, it's too bad. I would have supported them. The project looked great.
Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
The dice is black and filled with little silvery flakes, like snowfall.
Anything else?
There was a terrifying taxidermied bear in the cellar.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here. The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
But what about the others?
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
Sounds like she really didn't like those girls.
What did they expect? 20 cents per hour as dogs pay? I'm surprised they showed up to work at all.
Oh, but they did. They did show up to work, and not alone. There were also acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the ice cream stand. And they already had the bear.
And it didn't work out?
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revachol Ice City lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
I'm sure the bear was doing its best.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't. Doing his best, I mean.
How come?
He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherian.
Ah.
Sounds cool. Why is everyone doing drugs in this place? Even the taxidermist?
Very cool, but I think I'm good on the bears.
I totally understand. Anything else?
I did find a working intercom, but it's not working.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
No, a strange thing did happen when I tried. Well, we already know why, so...
Sure, I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
I see. Thank you for your answers.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
How did you become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
Fair point.
I've grown crafty over the years. You'll like your dice if you get them from me. Be sure of it.
You know, she's nice. Let's order some dice from her.
Tell me what you have in mind.
I'm sorry, I don't actually know what dice I want.
How about an amber die?
Poor man's gold?
Who told you amber was cheap? It's beautiful, really, and has been treasured since the ancient times. For 7 real, I'll craft you a 13-sided die from a piece of amber with a fossilized insect. It's perfect for those who can't seem to let go of their past.
Deal.
Great. See you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else?
Why hasn't her business failed?
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm and she has been.
We'll leave it at that for now. And we'll talk to her later. Well, we discovered the mystery. But we're going to have to leave through the outside. And it's pretty late too, so we'll finish dealing with the body tomorrow. We could probably store it in here, honestly. Actually, I'm curious if we can look at it now and decide. Oh wait, no, because we still have to take it down. Since we haven't taken the body down, we can't store it. All right, Mew, thanks for stopping by. I'm actually probably going to wrap up stream soon, but I'll definitely let you know when I'm up to feeling like Warframe. I'll definitely be available to play it tomorrow in the morning, though, because I'm either going to stream it or just not stream and play that.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already?
Not now.
Excuse me. Do you have something better to do than lust for sweet syrupy rum and lemonade? With a twist of lemon? Maybe lime?
No.
Maybe who cares?
We're gonna fight our alcoholism.
Can I help you?
So about the money I owe.
Yes. Have you got it?
Yep.
Well?
Yeah, I'm sorry for the trouble.
Great. Thank you, officer.
Hey, we
That's all I
apologized
want.
10 times.
Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in advance starting tomorrow.
Let's unlock another block. So that way we can work on or begin internalizing Mazovian social economics.
He's not sorry about his behavior for your sake. Now that you have money, he really wants to make sure you're not angry with him.
I'll unlock the electronic lock to your room. All the doors lock automatically at 9 p.m. Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real per night.
I'll take a room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you?
Nope, see you, Gart. We should probably like stop flashing that in his eyes now. What is this? We haven't found our song yet, so we can't sing.
Yes? What do you want to know? Good. What about me? Good.
Oh, so it looks like we still have to wait till it's 2200 out, so... Let us... You know what we can do? Let's go to our interactables.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active. Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP.
Wonder who wrote the note.
I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Suliswaf.
Looks like someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here.
I will probably never know.
The lieutenant nods.
We know about what filament memory is. That kid is definitely Kuno.
Really? You don't have a single guess? Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on the filament memory. Even if he doesn't know what to do with it, he'd probably try to pawn it for speed, based on our encounter.
Any idea? Oh, well. Yeah, we saw where it was. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, we have time to do one more before I need to talk to Kim.
An intricate web of blue lines.
Oh yeah, we saw this.
Still kind of has an ethnic feel to it. But for you to discover, you've gotten as far as you will without assistance. Someone close to the victim might know. Someone who knows about history could tell you. Gone.
2200.
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year. We can pick up where we left.
Although you did say we could talk. Maybe not? Maybe we can talk to Kim about it.
This is the door to the room. You...
Just a moment. You had some questions earlier, I believe. And besides, we should discuss our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the balcony.
Oh, where we just were.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum.
Where shall we begin? We should talk about the investigation, first and foremost. But I also remember you wanting to discuss the RCM?
Didn't know you smoke, Kim.
I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
Oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
How'd you get so cool, Kim?
You mean this? This isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will and unhealthy.
Keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself takes a lot of focus. It would be easy to simply quit.
I think I might want to pick up smoking. Do you have any more cigarettes?
I apologize, but I only brought one with me. I have exactly one cigarette every night while going over my notes.
Right, the debrief.
It's been a long and eventful day.
Well, how do you think it went?
Well, we didn't really look at the body, but we performed a thorough search of the premises of the crime scene. That's great.
Though you really dropped the ball on inspecting the body, he doesn't want you to feel too discouraged. Probably out of fear that you will just give up and keep drinking.
No, I'm sorry I couldn't do more today. I'm just not a very good cop, am I?
We are both doing our best under the circumstances. Just don't drink tonight, please. As for the interviews, we weren't able to find the union leader, Revachol, much less interview him. So that's on the to-do list for tomorrow. We tried to interview the Wild Banks rep, but she asked us to do something for her first. Fine, so be it. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us. Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
You know, I don't know why I do the things I do, Lieutenant Kitsuragi.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in those hills. Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange.
So what are our powers exactly, the RCM?
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule.
Okay, what else?
We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station call slip. It prevents confusion and overcrowding.
And how can you be assured, they'll, show up?
You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up.
And if someone resists?
We are permitted to use whatever force we deem necessary, even lethal.
Have you killed anyone, Kim?
Yes. The last time was 4 years ago.
He says it matter-of-factly and moves on.
And if I kill someone on duty?
You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best.
Have I killed anyone?
That's an improbability, perhaps even impossibility.
I don't know if I want to know.
Precinct 41 is known for a higher-than-average rate of police violence.
What happens to all the people we convict?
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Courant and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them.
And who makes all these rules? The coalition government?
Yes, the international community's mission in Revachol, and the moral intern, more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM.
Say nothing.
Silence. A great comment to such a conundrum.
The Moral Intern, what is it?
The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed.
I really don't. That's how bad it is here.
Okay. There are a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world.
What do they believe in?
What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats.
And their symbol?
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Something kind and usual. Something almost self-explanatory. Something ominous.
But who is Dolores Day?
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me.
What do you think of them?
The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen.
It is more than that. There's some kind of affection in him.
Better to not ask.
The lieutenant breathes out a chestnut-scented cloud of cigarette smoke and looks at the city he's sworn to guard.
I think I have an opinion on them.
Do you?
They've done an awful job here. Like, have you seen this place? This isn't humanism.
We are in what is called the twilight of international law. The laws we claim to enforce come from the MI. Without them, we are simply vigilantes.
Maybe we should make our own law.
Spoken like a revolutionary, not a cop. But hypothetical aside, in Martinez we already are vigilantes. At least the Union thinks so. I expect our job here to prove quite challenging.
Thank you for this.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
Well, good night, Kim. But before we go to bed...
It's the legend found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Gross.
Right. What more do you need? A rubber condom stuck to the back. A graffito that says defeated. I think you catch the drift. Below the pathetics, terror. Do not look into its blue heart.
We'll smell it.
The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner. It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back you see the embossed letters, RCM. Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment? Permeables. It's not hidden per se. The compartment is made for permeable materials that would get damaged if something happened to it. The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to its center. Blue. The blue heart. Don't look into it. With your hands, U4-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board. An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before. It is similar to the RCM watermark on your blazer the lieutenant mentioned. Didn't he say something about the headlights of his motor carriage? That you can read these there? You should turn them on and get in front of those headlights. See what happens. There may be information on there. A halogen watermark, he called it.
Yeah, when we get a chance, why not?
It'd be nifty if you found something that way, wouldn't it? The paper's still sagging from the clipboard in your hand. Not so nifty.
Let's see, is the interfacing on... Yep, our ledger is on here.
They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered, with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible. Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate, due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases, undertaken, not completed, mind you. It's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week on average.
How much is that? 2 cases a week?
A lot. A little. You have no idea. This all depends. Does it? It feels like a lot. Or maybe even more than a lot. It feels like too much.
There was a mention of a naming convention?
Yes. It appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name. A title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine cop show staples. Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case. Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close. There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete. The tasks you've completed flow out of the kind green ape pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of place. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. This would be a good time to finally name the case. If only Lieutenant Kitsuragi were here, so you could coordinate. No use naming it without him. Maybe at a later time, you can come back to this. Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if mostly illegible. You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. In the back, you see thin, translucent copier paper, some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out, according to type of form. 3. The topmost are misconduct fines, the middle ones are station calls, and the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear.
All right, well, we'll return to the ledger next time we're playing the game. So let us get some sleep.
The bed is cold. The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes. And then sleep doesn't come. Obviously, you're in bed with your eyes closed, but it's not happening. Maybe it's the bed's fault. It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it? Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep, and images start forming.
Well, we're going to save this little dream here and check it out next time. But thank you all for watching. We should be back probably Monday to resume this. But again, thank you for stopping by and have a good rest of your weekend. Thank you.